Hello everybody, Sean here, and we're looking at Elder Scrolls Online, and we're going to go through the character creator, give you the exact details of what's going on in here, and then kind of go over what the different classes mean for you and the skills involved in kind of what choice you're going to make. So the first thing, left hand side, you have your novice gear, veteran gear, no gear. Common option in MMOs these days. It gives you an idea of how crazy awesome your guy is going to look later in the game, what he's going to kind of look like in the beginning areas of the game. And then on the right hand side, you got male female, of course, and then alliance. Three alliances of Daggerfall Covenant, Aldmeri Dominion, and Ebonheart Pact. And then the races beneath them. So the first thing to consider is if you're playing with friends, the different alliances start in different areas, and on top of that, the different alliances are locked to the three races beneath them, so it's in a straight line beneath them. So if you want to play with your friends, you should coordinate beforehand to pick an alliance that has races in them that your group of friends will enjoy playing as. There is, of course, the Imperial, who is locked in the beta and and will be locked in launch unless you buy the special edition of the game, in which case you will be able to play as the Imperial. So it might be tough to figure out what race you want to play. There are 9 of them, each one offering their own racial bonuses. So oftentimes what I will say is instead of picking a race first, pick a class first. So go up here, click the class tab, and find a class you want to play. So you have the Dragon Knight, Sorcerer, Nightblade, and Templar. Dragon Knight and Templar are kind of similar in that they can fill multiple roles within a party. So Templar has healing skills, so he can be strictly a mage if you want, even though you see him wearing armor like this. Could be a mage healer, can be a tank, and I believe he also has some good crowd control, so he could be kind of a support character. Same for the Dragon Knight. Can play a tanking role, could fill a DPS role with his Ardent Flame skills, and then can also do some supporting damage type stuff. Sorcerer, obviously long range character, mage, can just blast spells at the enemy, can summon Daedric companions to help him out, and again has very good crowd control. Typical stuff you'd expect from a mage. And then the Nightblade is actually the only class that's a little more focused than the rest. Gonna deal primarily with doing either DPS or enfeeblement, hindering the enemy. So no matter what kind of Nightblade you play, you're going to be doing a ton of damage, but depending on the skill tree you pick, it'll be a ton of damage that also hinders the enemy, so slows, crowd controls, that kind of stuff. Or you could be very good at soloing. There's a whole skill tree dedicated to kind of life steal, life return, kind of keeping you alive, sustaining your character for as long as possible. So very, very powerful solo class. So once you know what class you want to play, you can actually go back and then pick a different race. So let's say we want to be a Templar. Well, if you're going to play Templar, and let's say you want to be the Templar mage, well, there's certain races that are naturally gifted with magic. So the Dark Elves, for instance, are good with magic, but not this kind of magic. So we want to find ones that might be a little better. So naturally, if you've played Elder Scrolls before, you know the Aldmeri, very, very good with magic. The High Elf, and it's not that it's going to be an overwhelming bonus. So if we played an orc and we wanted to be an orc healer, gotta love how the orcs look. If you want to be an orc healer, you can totally do that. But it's one of those situations where if you want the absolute most power, the most utility, versatility out of a class, you do want to try to pick a race that's going to suit it. And this is going to be what you play for the entirety of your experience. You're not changing classes and you're not changing races. You can roll multiple characters, of course, but a character is locked into what you pick. So if we pick the High Elf, and then we pick the, well, we don't get to pick, but we will be part of the Aldmeri Dominion, and we're going to be the Templar. So then we'll move on. You have your basic character customization stuff, what you would expect from an Elder Scrolls game. Obviously, it's not quite as crazy as you might see in other Elder Scrolls, where you can just make some pretty outrageous looking characters. They do have to limit you a little bit, or else there might be issues when putting on pieces of armor and whatnot. So once you go through that and you pick the kind of character you want, thin, muscular, then you can pick your name. So we'll say High Elf the Templar, because I am the best at creating original names. So then you'll get jumped into the game here, and you'll start in the Wailing Prison. Everyone starts in the Wailing Prison. This is kind of the entry zone, the tutorial zone, if you will. If it's your first time, take your time to go through it, enjoy the scenery, do the quests, make sure you're reading. Remember, Elder Scrolls is very, very big on the story, so if you're not listening to the story, you might not have that good of a time. So once you're in here, you can just hit Alt to bring up the menu, and you can quickly just go to your skills. So beforehand, I highly encourage you, everyone, before you pick your characters, go to our wiki. You can see all the skills, all the racial skills, all the classes, all that stuff beforehand, so you can read over the wiki, find a race you like, find a class you like, so the moment you get in the game, you can just click, 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 done. But if you didn't do that, if you just jumped into the game, you're like, I wonder what I now have access to. You can get in here and then you can pick, or not pick, sorry, but you can go through the different skills and see what they do. So remember, we want to play this guy as a mage, so here's the Restoring Light path, and then you can see here's all the heals, so this is the skill tree we would be going through, but then we picked the High Elf because of the racial skills. So what racial skills would we get a bonus to? Well, we get a bonus with Destruction Staff skill line, so maybe not the best choice on our behalf, because we do want Restoration Staff, but again, that's not a terrible idea, because now we could be a healer, but we're also going to have a bonus to Destruction Staff, so we'll be able to switch weapons. You are able to use 2 weapons every class. Once you reach level 15, you can have 2 weapon slots. So you could switch between Restoration Staff and Destruction Staff. So I would still be able to deal out some damage, even though I'm a mage. Increase Magicka recovery while in combat by 3%. Increase max Magicka by 4%. Increases damage with cold fire and shock effects by 2%. So all around, very, very powerful magical skills. We're going to have more Magicka. We're going to have faster regeneration. We have more XP coming in with the Destruction Staffs, and then we're going to deal bonus damage with the Destruction Staff skills because of that final talent. And these are levels, like these will level up. I believe each one, yeah, it says right there. The first one's there, you don't level, but 0 to 3, 0 to 3, 0 to 3. So this would go to a max of 12%, and this would be 9%, and then to 6% bonus for all the different elements. So there you go. I hope this just gives you some ideas. You should definitely plan ahead. If you're an MMO player, or if you're coming into Elder Scrolls for the first time, Elder Scrolls Online, I should say, for the first time, this does require a little more planning than your typical Elder Scrolls game. You can, of course, play whatever you want. There are all the different skills here. You can see you have your different class skills. So you can, if you could be a mage that uses a bow if you want. You could be a mage that wears like leather armor or heavier armor, and you could dual wield if you so chose. You don't have to be restricted to the typical mage in the back row with a staff slinging healing spells at everyone. You can play it however you want. In that very Elder Scrolls way, those options are available to you. But of course, there are ways that are going to kind of be more beneficial to everyone if you play them in that regard. And of course, same as any Elder Scrolls game, the more stuff you try to do, the less specialized you will be at one specific thing. So keep that in mind. Again, this is an MMO primarily. This is not the Elder Scrolls single player experience. So as much as you might want to be the master of everything, that's simply not going to be possible in an MMO experience. So you do have to specialize, pick 1 or 2 skills only to level up. So again, in the case of this, we are playing a mage, so we want to do Restoration Staff and then Destruction Staff on the side, and maybe light armor so that we can get some decent skills out of it, as well as just being in the back row, so we don't need medium or heavy armor. But anyways, I thank you for watching. Again, I hope this helps out, gives you some ideas on what to do, what to pick, and just how to go about it. Again, I encourage you to check out the wiki for all the information regarding skills, classes, characters, races, and all that jazz. I thank you for watching, and we'll see everyone next time.